वरादारी यशोधनन्दना व्रजनरञ्जना यशोधनन्दना व्रजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्जाबिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा सुभद्रमाई जय सुदर्शना जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय okay. Are you ready to learn a new kirtan? Does anyone not know this kirtan in this group? Not heard about it before?
Yes, ma'am. It's first time for me.
Okay.
It's new for me too.
Jai. Okay.
For
Few of them.
Yeah.
For the rest, we'll do a Narsimha kirtan. Okay.
Yeah,
Who is very comfortable singing this prayer and is ready to repeat after me?
Me, Mataji.
Who's that?
Mataji.
Lata
Narsimha
Mataji.
prayer, Mataji.
Yes. So here's what we'll do.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
Here's what I'll do. I'll sing the first line. Since Lata Mataji is very comfortable with this prayer, she will also sing the second line along with me. Okay, the second time I repeat it, she will sing with me. The rest of you will sing it on mute. So there's no disturbance while reciting. Okay, so you get used to the tune. Let's do that. I'll sing. And when I sing the second time, the same line, Lata Mataji will repeat. Is that okay, Lata Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, rest of you, please be on mute while singing this prayer. Good. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralhadhaladaine. Lata Mataji.
प्रह्लादलाददायिने
हिरण्याकाशीपूर्वक्षः
हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः
शिलटङ्कानकालाय
शीलटङ्कानकलाये
Okay, let's sing together. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahladhaladhadaine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankanakalaye. Okay, Ito Natsimha Parato Natsimha
Ito narasimha parato narasimho
Yato yato yami tato Natsimha
yato yato yami tato narasimha
Bahe Natsimha Hridaye Natsimha
Bahe narasimho hrudaye narasimho
Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prapadhe
Narasimhamadim saranam prapadye
Ito Natsimha Parato Natsimha Yato yato yami tato Natsimha Bahe Natsimha Hridaye Natsimha Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prapadhe Tava Kara Kamalavare Naka Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Tava Kara Kamalavare Naka Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Vigna Vinasha Jaya Narsimhadev Vigna Vinasha Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Lakshmi Narsimha Jaya Anantadev Lakshmi Narsimha Jaya Anantadev Jaya Bhaktavatsala Jaya Narahari Bhaktavatsala Jaya Narahari Jaya Pralhad Maharaj Jaya Pralhad Maharaj Pralhad Maharaj Jaya Pralhad Maharaj Shri Vigna Vinashaka Narsimhadev Bhagwan ki Jai. Okay, so we have 1.5 months for Narsimha Chaturdashi. So by them, hopefully we'll get this prayer on spot. We'll practice it in every class henceforth. So that's all okay with this tune?
Mataji, this is the same Narsimha thing that they play during the Mangala Aarti, no?
Yes, same prayer.
The same thing that they sing, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Has everyone responded to the quiz, chapter 1 quiz? Is there anyone who still wants to respond and has not responded?
Ma'am, me, Harsh Tiwari.
Harsh Tiwari, what's the reason for your delay, Prabhuji?
Ma'am, actually, I was in flight to Ufa.
How
So
many
there
days?
was a network issue.
Okay, when can you respond to the quiz then?
Anytime?
Okay, today?
Okay.
Okay, you have the quiz questions?
No.
Okay, I'll share it on the group again. I was planning to discuss the quiz answers today, but since some of you have not completed your quiz yet, I'll delay it for the next class. Okay, that we'll discuss the quiz
Okay, ma'am.
responses on Wednesday then. So anyone who's not responded yet then can respond to me before 12 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, no
Thank
further
you, ma'am.
extension. And whoever is responding to the quiz, please make it a point to listen to the recording and not assume the answers. Some of the answers may seem very generic, right? Nothing in Bhagavad Gita is generic. Nothing is that we are the servant of Krishna, we are surrendered to Krishna, our senses are surrendered to Krishna. These are not the generic answers I'm expecting for all questions. Every question has a very specific answer in Bhagavad Gita, and I want that very specific answer. Okay?
Mataji, I just want to ask you one thing.
Sure.
Whether we have to pick up from the recorded one or from the book itself.
Whatever I've spoken in the class comes from the book.
That's what I mean. Exactly. I mean, we just pick it up from the book. That's okay. No? It's comfortable, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. Then it's
yes.
okay. Thank you. I'm sorry to bother you.
No bother. Okay, so I know this is the first chapter, first quiz, so many of you could not coordinate on time, could not respond on time, but I'll not be giving this leeway for chapter 2. So if I'm giving 5 days, I expect you to figure your schedule and give me the responses in time. Okay, if you have some reason like Harsh Prabhu traveling, cannot pick up, read or answer, absolutely not. Let me know beforehand so I'm aware I'm not following up with each one of you in that case. Okay, let's go on to chapter 2. I made you the co-host, Vidya Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Today, we are on the second chapter. Request all of you to be on video for this part. And the chapter name is Contents of Gita Summarized. Am I recording? I am. Okay. So why is this chapter called as such? Because this chapter, like the title goes, is summarizing everything that the Gita is talking about. Okay. So Krishna starts from simple things like what is karma kanda activities? What is karma yoga? Okay, and then he goes to Jnana Yoga, then he goes to Dhyana yoga, then he finally goes to Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so he's talking about different types of Karma Yoga, he's talking about Jnana Yoga, he's talking about Dhyana Yoga, and then finally he's talking about Bhakti Yoga all in one chapter. So what is Krishna doing here is before he's starting the chapter, he's giving you a synopsis of what to expect in the rest of the Gita. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so Krishna is giving a synopsis. Now, what happens over here so far? So Krishna has Krishna has not yet spoken so far. Arjuna was going through the army on both sides, and he's filled with lots of questions in his head. Why am I here? What am I doing here trying to fight against my family? All my seniors like Dronacharya, Bhishma, all of my family who have raised me, and I'm now ready here to fight with them, right? So he has mentioned many reasons in chapter 1 on why he should not fight. Okay. One of the reason was his compassion for his family members. Correct. He spoke about how to kill all the grandfathers in the family, the uncles and grandsons, all these people. How do I fight with them? So it's filled with compassion. Second reason that we discuss in the chapter is that how even if I kill them even if I have this victory, then am I going to? How do I enjoy this when nobody is there to enjoy all this with me later? Right, so he says that there's no enjoyment, right? Then further he goes on to say that there's so many sins If I kill all these people, sins will overpower me. And in that case, everything that we have done, he's quoting Artha Shastra. Artha Shastra says that there are 6 types of aggressors. And if these 6 types of aggressors are killed, there's no sins. But he's saying higher than Artha Shastra is Dharma Shastra. And what does Dharma Shastra say? To be pious, to forgive. So if I overlook Dharma Shastra and just follow Artha Shastra, which is a lower form of Shastra than Dharma Shastra, I will be covered with sins, right? So he's saying that's his third reason on why he should not fight. And the fourth reason he talks about the destruction of family traditions. We have all responded to that question in much detail in the last quiz, right? So these are the 4 reasons he has stated so far. Okay, but in total, Arjuna actually has 5 reasons that he's going to cite, and the 5th reason is going to come up in chapter 2. Okay, what is that 5th reason? We'll understand in a bit. Okay, we'll start reading the verses. Any questions on anything in chapter 1 so far? Has anyone here not read the purport of chapter 1 so far?
Mataji, I just wanted again the relationship of this to Ketu, Chekitana, Purujit, Saibya, and all. So
Now that is a whole Mahabharata, Mataji. You'll have to read the Mahabharata, and that's not the intent of this class. We'll cover what is important, but we'll not go through all the relations of Mahabharata in this class.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji, I did not read any purport of chapter 1. I guess.
Okay, your excuse, since you didn't join many classes, try to read before the next class, which is on Wednesday. Okay, it should not take you more than 1 hour to read the whole purport of first chapter.
Sure, Mataji, I will complete that.
Okay, Anita Mataji, yeah, go ahead.
I have also read some parts of it, but some I have not read. I'll finish it before the next class.
Okay.
Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
well, Hare Krishna. Who was that? Anita Mataji. Okay,
Yeah.
Anita Mataji, Lata and Ganesh Prabhu, 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. Sanjay Uvacha Tam Tratha Krupaya Supunam Kulekyanam Visidanta Medam Vakya Mubacha Madhusudanaha. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana Krishna spoke the following words.
Okay.
Purport.
No purport, only translation. Okay, purports you can read on your own after this class. Whatever verses we have covered, try to read the purports on your own. Okay, so Sanjay is saying, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes is filled with tears. Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. So Krishna is referred to as Madhusudana over here, Uvacha Madhusudana. So why Madhusudana? Madhusudana is the killer of the demon called Madhu, right? So Krishna is referred as Madhusudana because just like Krishna killed the demon Madhu, Arjuna is filled with all these misunderstandings, doubts in his heart, right? So he's asking Krishna, you should kill all these misunderstandings within me. Right? So he's pleading to Krishna to remove all these doubts, these misunderstandings, confusion within him. And he's filled with, his mind is filled with compassion for his family, right? And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that this compassion that Arjuna is feeling is nothing like, is same like a man who's drowning in water, right? If you save the man who's drowning, and you bring him out, but instead of saving the man, you just save his whatever shirt he's wearing, right? You don't save the man, you let the man drown, but whatever shirt he's wearing, you bring it out and say, I've saved this man, right? That's not the way it is. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada is saying our compassion for people who are going to be harmed in our execution of dharma, it's same like this body that we have is like a shirt, right? So if in the execution of our duty, if some of these people are harmed and you're crying for this body, it seems like you're crying for this shirt that or trying to save this shirt and not the soul within. Okay, so Krishna is instantly the purport is instantly distinguishing between the body and the soul. Okay, and why is this heading in, the purport is heading in this direction, we'll understand in a bit. Let's read verse 2.
श्री भगवान् उवाच उतस्त्वा कश्मलमिदं विषमे समुपस्थितम् कीर्तिर्करमर्जुन. Translation. Mataji?
Yes, you're not able to see?
Oh, yes. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy."
Kuthastha kashmalam idam. Kashmalam is all these impurities. How have they come on you? Kashmalam. Okay. Now remember, Krishna is responding and he's referred to here as Bhagwan. Okay. Now when we understand Krishna, there's 3 levels of understanding Krishna. There is the level where we understand him as the Brahman. Okay. Brahman is the impersonal features of Krishna. Okay, he's there in his presence as sun, the water, the things around us, the air, the impersonal aspects. So, and then beyond Brahman, when you try to understand him, it's Paramatma, the localized aspects of Krishna. Paramatma is the soul within each of us, and Krishna is existing in each jiva as Paramatma. He's the localized aspect of Krishna. And then the highest advanced knowledge of Krishna is Bhagavan. Right? Bhagavan means he is the all opulent, all 6 opulences, all put together. Okay. And he's got his own individual personality. He's got all that. He's known as the Shama Sundara with his Tribhanga form. And in that form, he's all opulent, all knowledgeable, all beautiful, all fame, all renunciation, and all knowledge. All 6 opulence is 100% filled with him. And that form of the Lord is known as Bhagavan. Right? So many of us, when we try to understand God, some try to understand only the impersonal aspect of the Lord, which is the Brahman aspect. Okay, so those who say that Krishna has no form, he's impersonal, he has no personality, they are the impersonalists. Right? And they only believe in Krishna till the Brahman aspect. Now, there are others like the Gyanis who try to understand more knowledge about Paramatma. How is he maintaining all this universe? How is he sustaining all the different forms, different jivas? How is he creating so many universes? There are people who want to know all this knowledge. Those are Gyanis. They try to understand the Lord as the local personification, the Paramatma. And then there are devotees of the Lord who like to have personal relation with the Lord, right? The 5 types of relation that one has with the Lord that we read in the introduction. So Krishna, when we try to personalize, have a personal connect with Krishna, and we try to understand his personality, right? His 6 opulences. When we try to go above his impersonal, above his localized, the all-pervading form of Bhagwan, form of Lord, then that's the highest form of knowledge. Now, similarly, this form of knowledge you can understand when we look at the sun. When we look at the sun, the first thing we feel is the sun rays, the sunshine, right? So if you try to understand the sun and say the sun is just this sun, the heat reaching out to me, the sunshine, that's all the sun is. That is like understanding the Brahman form of the Lord. Right? Now, if you go closer to the sun, then we understand that there's a sun surface. Right? We understand there's a surface, we get and then that has its own little features of its own. So that is like understanding the Paramatma feature. But once we enter the surface of the sun, right? Then we'll understand there are different type of sun universe, different types of jiva within the sun planet. So we'll understand the more detailed, intrinsic, personal qualities of the sun. Right? So that is like understanding the Bhagwan feature of the sun. So remember, sun is not Bhagwan or sun is not Krishna. We're just trying to draw analogy between sun and understanding the Lord himself. So the Bhagwan that Krishna, and Krishna is many times referred as Bhagwan in Bhagavad Gita. So the reason why he is called Bhagwan, because he's the supreme soul, supreme personality, and he has all the six qualities, opulences in full abundance. Right? Nobody, no other spiritual or material creature can claim this, right? Some of us will have some part of his opulence, some will have some good knowledge, some will have some little strength, some will have some little beauty, right? With that little that we have, we still feel that we have so much, we are so brave, we are so potent, we are so knowledgeable, and we think that nobody can overcome us. But Krishna has all these qualities in abundance, right? 100%. There's no shortage, and hence is called as Bhagwan. Okay, so that's how we understand Bhagwan. So we went through the sun description. I'll not go through every detail mentioned in the purport. I request you to read through it. So here it's mentioned in Brahma Samhita, there are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagwan, but Krishna is a supreme because none can excel him. He is a supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is primeval Lord, Govinda, and cause of all causes. This is from Brahma Samhita 5.1. And further it said over here, all the lists of incarnations of Godhead submitted herewith are either plenary expansions or part of the plenary expansion of the Supreme Lord, but Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So it further consolidates his position as Bhagwan. Okay, so on the verse here, Krishna is asking, where did this kuta means from where from does all these impurities, kalmasha, kashmala come from? And he's saying that this is very un-Arya, right? He's not expecting this from you. And Aryas are people who understand the value of human life, understand the pursuit of spiritual realization, right? So people who understand the importance of human life and the importance of spiritual realization, they are called as anarya. But people who are focused on material enjoyment, right, focused on sense gratification, they are not bothered about spiritual realization, they are called as anarya. Okay, so Krishna is saying that as a Kshatriya, you have certain dharma to execute, right? You're fighting for dharma, but suddenly when you come to this war, you're saying that you cannot fight, right? This is very un-Arya. Where is this coming from? Right? So he's chastising Arjuna in this way. But this chastisement, you should understand, is a good thing, right? So Krishna is chastising because there are many times, just give me a second. So, sorry. So Krishna is chastising to understand why is Arjuna, who is supposed to be a very realized soul, right? He is supposed to have, he's a close associate of Krishna. Where is it coming from? And this is something that all of us go through, isn't it? Kashmalam could, we ask so many questions in the classes. We know all the answers, right? We have so much knowledge. But we attend all these different Srimad Bhagavatam classes. We are part of Bhagavad Gita reading. But yet when it comes to chanting, we say, I don't have time, right? I don't have time. If I have time, I'll do one round. But if I cannot do, then I am because I'm busy with my office work, right? That's one of the common reasons. And we talk about the importance of eating prasadam. Yet every day we see that we miss eating prasadam. We don't offer anything to the Lord. Even something simple as fruits, water, nothing is offered to the Lord. And we end up eating something that is unoffered or unofferable to the Lord, isn't it? So this is something we deal with every day. And we think that, our family may not appreciate us being so involved in Krishna consciousness. So I'll try to sober down my dedication to Krishna. Instead, I'll show more dedication to my family. Let me, instead of pleasing Krishna, let me please my family as a priority. So won't Krishna, if you go to Krishna at the end of doing all this, after reading all these Shastras, we go to Krishna, won't Krishna ask the same question to us? Same question that is asking Arjuna. Where is all this Kashmalam coming from? Right? Where is all this spiritual weakness coming from? So this is an answer that we have to prepare for, because Krishna has already shared so much of his knowledge about him. But still, if you're not willing to have that dedication to Krishna, then we should have the answer on why is this Kashmalam taking over? Okay, so this is also what has been asked to Arjuna. Let's read verse 3.
Yeah, it's me. I'll read.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Naibyam masma gamapata naitattvavya upapadyate sudram hridaya daurabalyam tyakta swata parantapa. O son of Partha, do not Pratha, okay. O son of Pratha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy.
Chastiser of the enemy. Okay.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
So Hare Krishna. So Krishna is saying, Klaibyam masma gama partha naitatvai upapadyate shudram hridaya dhaurbalyam tyakto tisha parantapa. So give up this petty weakness of heart and surrender to me. So Krishna is calling Arjuna as Partha because he's the son of Pritha. Pritha is none other than Kunti, right? Kunti's another name is Pritha. So he's trying to remind Arjuna that you're my cousin, because Kunti and Vasudeva, Krishna's father, are brother and sisters. So they have a blood relation. Arjuna and Krishna have a blood relation. So it comes from a very renowned family. Right. So as a Kshatriya, then of the top order with such high family lineage, he's reminding Arjuna that why are you not declining to fight? Right, because he's a Kshatriya, and one who's a Kshatriya by birth, but he's not performing his duties, then he's Kshatriya by name only. Similarly, a Brahmana, if he's Brahmana by birth, but he's not doing his duties, regular duties, then he's called as a Dvija Bandhu. Dvija Bandhu is one who is born in a Brahmana family, but is not following the regulations of being a Brahmana. Right, so he's a distant relative of the Brahmana, Dvija Bandhu. Right. Similarly, Kshatriyas and Brahmanas, they are unworthy. It's said over here, Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their father if they are not following the rules and regulations of being a Kshatriya or a Brahmana. So Arjuna is reminding about his lineage, and he's saying that pick up your arrow and fight. Give up this petty weakness and fight. Okay, so let's read verse 4.
Yes, Mataji. Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhye Dronam Cha Madhusudana Isubhi Pratiyotsyami Pujarha Harisudana. Arjuna said, O killer of Madhu, Krishna, how can I counterattack with arrows in battlemen like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship?
It's a very potent question. Thank you, Mataji. So he's asking again, he's referring to Dharma Shastra. He's calling Krishna as Ari Sudhana. Ari means enemy, right? So he's saying killer of enemy, right? He's reminding Krishna, you are a killer of enemy. How then are you asking me to kill my very worshipable Bhishma and Dronacharya. So Madhusudana, killer of the demon Madhu, how do I attack my family when you yourself kill only your enemy? So why are you expecting? In other words, is asking Krishna indirectly, would you kill your teacher Sandipani or your grandfather? If you're put in that position, would you kill? Right? So Krishna is not going to answer this question at this point. He does not retaliate to that. But we all know that where at the end of Yadava Kula, right, when Adharma had reached his pinnacle, Krishna very, without any hesitation, destroyed the whole Yadava dynasty as well. Right, his own family, kingsmen, he destroyed it. So he did it to re-establish Dharma all over again. So without words, just in action, Krishna showed that if it comes to that, he will destroy his own people if establishing Dharma. But anyway, Arjuna has asked this question, and he's again quoting. He's quoting, you can see in the purport what he means. He's saying the general etiquette is that superiors are not to be offered even verbal fight. Okay, so he's again quoting Dharma Shastra over here. Remember, the lowest form of Shastra is Artha Shastra, where we said 6 kind of aggresses can be destroyed. So it's talking about how to manage economics, politics, different political situation, economic growth, how to manage that. That is Artha Shastra. Now, above that is Dharma Shastra. Now, Dharma Shastra has many layers. Right, Dharma Shastra is telling how to follow religion, right? How to be more, do more punya karma, how to follow rules and regulations. So there are many, scriptures that deal with Dharma Shastra alone. Like there's Agni Shastra, there is Niti Shastra, Agama Shastras. So all of these are Dharma Shastras. So it tells you how to be more religious in your day-to-day life. Even your Varnashrama is part of your Dharma Shastra because it tells you the 4 Varnas and 4 Gunas, how they split into different, 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas and how they need to live. So, and, with Krishna is the center of it. So it talks about how to be religious. Right? So there are different terms. So here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is pointing that Arjuna is again emphasizing on Dharma Shastra to say, as per Dharma Shastra, I'm not even supposed to give a verbal fight to an elder. If the elder is, putting you in the spot, shouting at you, you're not even supposed to retaliate with them harshly in a verbal tone. So how then should I kill them with my arrows? Right? So he's asking these very right questions to Krishna. Now let's read the next verse, verse 5.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam.
Guru Nahatva hi mahanubhavan Preyo bhoktum vaishya api haloke Hatvata kamasu guru nisaiva Bunchiya bhogan vrutira pradiptan. Translation. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be stained with blood.
Okay. It would be better to live by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted by blood. So Krishna is again re-emphasizing on Dharma Shastra. Now here, he is again still considering his Drona and Bhishma as superiors. Though we saw that both Bhishma and Drona in the Kaurava Sabha, when Draupadi was getting, her Vastra Aparana was going on. So at that point, nobody really supported her. And Duryodhana knew very well that they didn't support her because both Dronacharya, of course, came to Kauravas for financial considerations. He was taking a salary from Kauravas. So he's obliged to support the Kauravas in whatever means, whatever they are doing. So Dronacharya was there for the salary. right? And even Bhishma Pitamaha, in one sense, he was taken care by the Kauravas. Though he did not take any kingly positions, he still was maintained by the Kauravas. Right, so both of them had different types of obligation to support the Kauravas. It said that Vidura, on the other hand, he did not take any maintenance from the Kauravas. He maintained distance. So he was able to openly stand up to the Kauravas and say that this is wrong or this is right. Or even he many a times would go through Dhritarashtra and chastise Duryodhana and chastise Dhritarashtra to him on their face. That's because he didn't take any kind of salary or maintenance from the Kauravas. So different people had different standards they used to follow, and in that Dronacharya and Bhishma had to support Kauravas because of the financial consideration and the support they were taking from Kauravas. Okay, so Arjuna still, though they had fallen from their high position, he's still considering them as their superior, and he's saying that even if I kill them, then everything I enjoy as a result will be tainted by their blood. Right, so he's saying better than that is I live like a bhikshuka, like a beggar. Right, so of course if he decides not to fight, then he does not have any other option but to beg. Right, so he's saying rather for me is I give up all my duties as a kshatriya, renounce everything and live as a beggar. Okay, so that's verse 5. Let's read verse 6.
Yes, Mataji. न चैतद् विद्मः करतन् नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेमा यदि वानो जयेयु येन्येव हत्वा न जिजीवि सामत् तेवति वतीथ प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्रा. Translation: Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to leave. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so this is the final reason that Arjuna gives on why he does not want to fight. He's expressing his indecision. Should I fight or should I let them conquer us, let them kill them? Like, let's surrender to them without any kind of weapons and let them kill, right? So should we be conquering them or be conquered? So he's showing his indecision. What should I do? Right? So he's telling very openly to Krishna that I'm very confused. I'm not too sure what has to be done at this point. So Arjuna's intelligence has got bewildered and is trying to understand the implementation of applying dharma. So far he said that dharma is being pious, not chastising his enemies. So he's saying what would be the result of implementing such a dharma, right? Should I do this? What is my duty? What should I do? I'm very confused. Should I fight or should I just be conquered by them? Right? Should I surrender? Therefore, he submits himself to Krishna, seeking his guidance. Okay, so this is how the 5 reasons are captured. Just give me a second. I'll switch my screen over. Do you see my slides? Okay, so I hope you do.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
reasons for Arjuna not fighting. The first 4 reasons were covered in chapter 1, right? Compassion for friends and family, relatives. That's covered in verse 28 to 30, right? No enjoyment, even if victorious. That's from verse 31 to 35. Fear of sinful reaction, 36 to 38, right? Destruction of family values, that is 39 to 43. Now, finally, the 5th reason is his indecision. That is mentioned in verse 6 of chapter 2. Okay, so this is all his reasons for not fighting. So these are very important reasons and should be summarized precisely in this manner if you want to understand and articulate Bhagavad Gita like you learned it. Otherwise, everyone will be very generic in their understanding of Bhagavad Gita. Right? Everyone will say that Arjuna's reason for not fighting is because his hand is trembling, his Gandiva is slipping. No, Arjuna is not asking for a sick leave from war. right? His Gandiva is not shaking and the limbs are not, hair is standing. These are the symptoms he's feeling because of the compassion he's feeling for the people on the other side. It's not because of that he didn't want to fight. Right? He's not asking for a sick leave. Many of us might do that when we're going to office saying, I'm feeling shiver, I'm feeling, tremble in my heart, temperature rising. That's the reason we give for sick leave when we go to office. But Arjuna is not that. He's feeling compassion, and his symptoms of compassion is all these things that we mentioned. But that is not by itself the reason for not fighting. Okay. Any questions so far? Or else we go to verse 7. Verse 7 is very important. Okay, if there are questions, just ask it right away in between the discussion. So it evolves into something meaningful related to the topic that we are discussing. So, what 7?
Mataji,
Yes.
What has appeared? No, all the 5 reasons. No, like if you just put it. I mean, it's comfortable. Like
Sorry, what?
Whatever. I mean, I show no that 4 reasons earlier, and now the 5th reason.
Indecision. 5th reason was indecision.
Exactly. I mean, those 5 reasons. If we can put it, if we can forward.
It's recorded, Prabhuji. You'll find it in the recording.
No, I just checked up that thing. I mean, I was just keep on going that. Anyway, I mean,
he wants you to display the slide again, I think.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
We don't have to redo it, Prabhuji, because it's anyway recorded. If you go back on the recording, you'll see it. So I don't want to waste time or just on the topic.
Okay.
But if you want, I'll share it. But
Yeah,
that was just for your reference. But if you simply go back to the recording, you'll anyway find all that in the call recording.
Yeah, better if you share it, I'll be more comfortable. Still more.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yes. Yes, Mother.
Okay. Okay, let's read verse 7. Is Pavan Prabhu on the call? Okay,
Yes,
not
Mataji.
okay. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Karpanya doshopatha swabhava prachami tva dharma samudha cheta yak yach sherya shayan nishyantam bruhi tanme sishyaste ham sadhimam tvam prapanam. Translation. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miseries, weaknesses. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
Please instruct me. So this is a very important verse. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha prachami tvam dharma samhura chetaha yakshreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. So what is Arjuna doing? I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me again for certain what is best for me. Now I'm your disciple and a soul surrendered unto me. Please instruct me. So what is happening over here is Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna, right? Arjuna is saying, from now, I surrender to your feet. I'm no longer your friend. I want, please accept me as my disciple and tell me, instruct me very clearly what is the right thing I need to do, such that it's definitely, it's good for me. Please instruct me on what is best for me. So he surrendered to Krishna in this way. So we need to understand this word kripana. There's a word kripana, karpanya dosho pahata swabaha. So kripana means, what's the meaning of kripana? It's mentioned in the translation, synonyms. Karpanya.
Karpanya. Kripana is merciful, Mataji.
Miserliness.
Karpanya.
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 Miserliness.
Yes, it's mentioned.
Yeah.
Miser. Right? Karpanya is miser. What is the opposite of karpana then?
Daya. No.
Miser. What's the opposite? Miser is what?
Reckless, I guess.
To donate.
Miser is a stingy person.
Stingy.
Yeah, miser is stingy.
So the opposite of stingy will be generous.
Generous.
Generous,
Yes,
correct.
generous, right? Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha. So he's saying because of my miserly weakness. What is this miserly weakness? Now, we should understand what is being generous, first of all. Okay. Now, let's understand what is generous. Who is generous? Do we understand the word Brahmana? What is the name of meaning of the word Brahmana?
Educated one, who knows shastras.
Okay, educated, knows shastras. What was the other thing?
Knowledgeable.
Yes, same thing. Yes.
And is good, generous and compassionate towards fellow people.
All the people. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's very simple by nature, Mataji.
Simple by nature. Yeah. I mean, the characteristics of a Brahman: simple, honesty, truthful, cleanliness. That was all the behavioral traits of a Brahmana. But the word Brahmana means one who knows Brahman. We understand the three aspects of the Lord: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. So a Brahmana means one who knows Brahman, right? And a Brahmachari is one who is in the journey of understanding Brahman, Brahmachari. Understand? So Brahmachari is in the pursuit of knowing Brahman. A Grahastha can also be in the pursuit of knowing Brahman, right? So it does not mean a person who's wearing saffron clothes. Even a regular Grahastha can be a Brahmachari, right? Grahastha can be married, but if they're still following the principles of Brahmacharya, like understanding Brahman, studying the Brahman, then they are also considered as Brahmachari, right? So Brahmachari, or understanding Brahman, is to know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right? He understands the value of spiritual pursuit. He understands that it's important to know the Supreme Personality of God and all his personal features. So one who understands this is a Brahman. He's generous, right? And the opposite of that, one who does not understand one who does not understand the meaning of the word Brahman or the supremacy of the Lord, is Kripana. Right? A Kripana is a person who's constantly thinking of themselves alone, their sense gratification, their enjoyment. They're thinking of me, myself, my things, my position, my fame. They're only thinking of them. They're not thinking about them higher than this body. They're thinking of them as just this body, right? So such a person who thinks of just their body is a Kripana. So Arjuna realizes that his behavior is that of a Kripana. Right. He's understanding that he's thinking at a very bodily level. So to be at this state also is to be knowledgeable, because he's not claiming ignorance. Arjuna is not claiming ignorance. He's understanding that he's in a state of ignorance. Okay. And in such a state, what does he do? He's saying, I'm covered with this miserly ignorance because I'm thinking of my family connections. I'm thinking of my people. And because of that, I'm in some kind of bewilderment. Samhuda, right? I'm in some kind of so in such a state, he's telling Krishna, tell me for sure what's the best thing for me, right? So he's surrendered to Krishna and he's saying, tell me what's the best thing for me to do. So what is Arjuna doing over here? He's surrendering to Krishna, And what does that mean? So it means that now he's at begging at Krishna, is fallen at the lotus feet of Krishna, is saying, you tell me what is, and he's surrendering in the mood of a disciple. So he's accepted Krishna, is instantly changing position from being a friend to a disciple. But Arjuna, we should understand, he's been a close friend of Krishna so far. So how does he come to be in such kind of bewilderment, the Kripana condition? So we should understand that this kind of state can happen to anybody. Even a very senior devotee, many years studying the scriptures, can go through this because of this miserly state of kripana, of connecting with the body. It happens to us very spontaneously. So even Srila Prabhupada, why does he keep saying we are not this body, we are the soul? In every lecture that you hear of Srila Prabhupada, he keeps saying the same points, to the point that some might think, why does Srila Prabhupada keep emphasizing on the soul body context so often? We know that. He's told that in every class so far. So why we keep emphasizing? Because we, as material body, we keep forgetting our soul connection. We always come back to our position of our body, right? We keep forgetting that we are the actual soul. So Srila Prabhupada, he's constantly reminding us that we are not this body, we are the soul. And this is, and because of this connection with our body, where we are saying, me, my family, then we constantly keep thinking, why should I do this? Why should I surrender to, why should I do this versus that? So even a devotee, even many years into this devotional activity, even they can come into this miserly weakness. And in such a state, the only person who can clear our ignorance is either a guru or Krishna himself. Arjuna is very lucky because he just has Krishna right there. So he very easily accepted Krishna as a guru. But for us, of course, Krishna is there in his books, in his Bhagavad Gita. But in absence of, even reading books sometimes could be confusing for some people. So it's always good to turn to a guru and ask them these questions instead of assuming the answers. Okay, so here the position of guru is emphasized a lot. So even if you follow the guru's instructions very carefully, okay, so this kind of hridaya daurbalyam or kripana pravriti will not come onto us. But if we keep forgetting the position of the guru, ignoring the instructions of the guru, or we hear the instructions, but we think maybe it's not all true, maybe some part is little exaggerated, some kind of thoughts like that, then this kind of hridaya daurbalyam or weakness comes very naturally, because that's a role of Maya. As soon as she sees a small gap in our faith, she takes over, right? So following the instructions without any kind of doubt, with full faith, understanding that this guru is part and parcel of Krishna. He's instructing us based on the position of Krishna. So understanding that, and if you follow the instruction, then this hridaya daurbalyam will not come on to us. Okay, so this we should understand that, like I mentioned, there's Dharma Shastra, and above Dharma Shastra is Bhagavata Dharma, right? That Bhagavata Dharma means following the orders of Krishna, acting in Krishna consciousness directly. That's the highest order. So whenever we follow any instructions, or you want to serve Krishna, and that is your constant mood, when you're doing 16 rounds of chanting, if you can do offenseless chanting, right? 16 rounds, you're able to focus completely on Krishna, then we are already in Bhagavata Dharma position. Right? But if you can't do that 16 rounds of offenseless chanting, it's filled with offenses, then at least we should follow Dharma Shastra. Right? So it's not that, some devotees say, if you're at the level of following Krishna consciousness, then you only have to follow Bhagavata Dharma. You don't have to do Dharma Shastra or Artha Shastra. But that's not fully true, because even Dharma Shastra has different layers. Like, for example, in Agni Shastra, it tells you how to offer prayers, right? How to maintain cleanliness in the house. What kind of details have to be followed while cooking for the deities. Like, for example, if you pass stool, then you have to immediately take bath, right? Or a Brahmana's teeth should be always clean. Because why? The reason is to make sure that whoever is in the service of the Lord is always in hygienic condition. So Agni Shastra is telling you how to maintain that cleanliness in the house. Right? Many people get deities in the house, but they don't know how to maintain the deity after that. So, so when you have deities in the house, especially, you should maintain this cleanliness in the house, right? So when you pass stool, you have to take bath. It's not that, you pass stool in the morning, then you enter the kitchen, do your cooking, and then go take bath. You can't do all that. Once you pass stool, don't come out of the bathroom till you finish your bath. Right? Srila Prabhupada in fact says that a Brahmana should take bath 3 times a day. Right? So hygiene should be maintained. And in fact, for Prabhuji's, Agni Shastra says that whenever they take bath, they should wet their hair. So if their hair is not wet, then they have not taken bath. For Prabhuji's. For Mataji's, of course, there's an exception that, you can wash your hair 2 or 3 hours a day, 2 or 3 times a week. And that is enough, because keeping a wet hair all the time is not good. So Prabhuji's, however, on the other hand, have to make their hair wet if they're taking bath. Okay, so there are rules like this, right? So, so in other words, people who are not completely in the liberated state cannot think of Krishna constantly. They have to follow Dharma Shastra. One example is Yudhishthira, right? Yudhishthira, there's one point, there was a conflict between Bhagavad Dharma and Dharma Shastra. Can anyone think of what happened? Yudhishthira, what instance we are referring to?
When he passed the tool, he has not washed his feet, I think. So that karma.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Prabhuji? Your voice was breaking.
Yudhishthira, the time, he has passed the tool and he has not washed his feet.
Was it? I'm not sure about that pastime. Can you explain that pastime?
That's what I mean. Part of it I heard, and that Shani Bhagavan again, that karma.
Your voice is breaking, Prabhuji.
Yeah, there's a problem network. It's a network.
Okay, Prabhu, your voice is breaking, but that's not what I'm referring to. But anyone remembers any other situation in the war where Yudhishthir Maharaj was put in a conflict between Bhagavad Dharma and
Ashwatthama. When he was Mataji, Ashwatthama, where he had to lie that Ashwatthama is dead.
Yes.
So he was put into a complex, how to say it.
Okay. Yes, that's the situation.
Yes.
So when Dronacharya had to be slain in the war, and it was not possible. And so Krishna comes to Yudhishthira and tells him that you have to tell Dronacharya that Ashwatthama is dead. Only then we can make him give up the battle, right? But Yudhishthira was thinking how to tell a lie. Right, for us, and maybe it's very easy to lie because we are used to telling lies, but Yudhishthira is not used to telling lies. So when Krishna told him, Krishna is telling, so that is Bhagavad Dharma. Anything that Krishna says is Bhagavad Dharma, right? There's no conflict about it. But when Krishna told him to tell a lie like this, he was put in a conflict situation. Should I follow Dharma Shastra or should I follow Bhagavad Dharma? Of course, Bhagavad Dharma supersedes Dharma Shastra, right? Whenever there's a conflict, then always Bhagavad Dharma should supersede, right? So in this situation, it said that till that point, the wheels of the chariot of Yudhishthira was always above the ground level. It was not touching the ground. But and after this situation, when he said that your son Ashwatthama, elephant by the name Ashwatthama, the second part he said very softly. When he said that lie, his chariot touched the ground. He said that because he lied, his chariot touched the ground. Many people interpret that situation like that. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj said a lie, his chariot touched the ground. But it is in fact because Yudhishthira hesitated for that second to think whether I should follow Dharma Shastra or Bhagavad Dharma. Because he showed that hesitation, because he hesitated to follow the orders of Krishna, his chariot fell down. It's not because of the lie. His chariot would have been in the air, continued if he had told the lie without any hesitation. right? And because of this hesitation later on, during the Mahaprasthana, when all the Pandavas and Draupadi were going back to heaven, walking up to heaven, it is here that Yudhishthira had to have witnessed the sight of Naraka. He had to see Naraka Darshana also, very quick Naraka Darshana, and then he went to heaven. So this is how this whole episode is, but to further emphasize the fact that, one has to follow Dharma Shastra, one has to follow Bhagavad Dharma, but both can be followed simultaneously. Still, there's no conflict. If there's a conflict, always the Bhagavad Dharma supersedes Dharma Shastra. Okay, so like that we can understand it. So here Arjuna is approaching Krishna. He's telling Krishna, he's calling, remember Krishna as Achyuta, infallible. So the same mood we should approach the Guru as well. The Guru, whatever instructions that the Guru is giving is infallible. Okay, so we should not have doubt in the instruction of the Guru. Of course, when we have questions, we should ask questions. We can do follow-up questions to get clarity on the answer or the instruction given by the Guru, but we should not have doubt that my Guru, is he telling the correct thing, or we should not ask questions in the offensive mode. So here Arjuna is surrendered to Krishna, and he's going to ask many questions, just like he's asking a Guru. Right? So your Guru you must understand, he's not a person of material existence. Though he might be in the material world, okay, but he's not he's not in the same situation as you and me. He's not materially situated person, right? And in that sense, we should understand that any instruction, spiritual instructions especially, materially, maybe they are not that knowledgeable of what's the most recent thing going on in the material world, what kind of car, what kind of technology. Maybe they're not very educated on the material stuff. But whatever instructions come from the Guru, then those kind of instructions should be heard very carefully without any doubt. You can ask follow-up questions to clarify, but even while asking questions, it should be asked in an offenseless mood. And whenever you're approaching a Guru, you should always sit at the feet of the Guru. Right? It should not be that you're seated on equal position as a Guru, right? When you're approaching the Guru for a knowledge, always like Upanishad. Upa means come here and sit. Upanishad, come here and sit. So when a devotee is approaching the Guru, you should sit at the feet of the Guru and ask questions, right? There was yesterday's Rama Katha. The Katha, Kathakar was telling about how the relation of Bharata and Lord Ram was. He was telling that whenever wherever Ram is, whether he's sitting on the throne, Bharata would always sit few feet below Rama. Right? If he's sitting on a few steps above, he'll sit on a chair below. Or if he's sleeping on the bed, he'll sleep on the floor. Similarly, when Lord Rama went to the 14 years of Vanavas, Bharata knew that the Lord is going to be sleeping on the ground. So what did Bharata do? He dug a pit few feet below the ground level, and he used to sleep under the ground, right? A few feet below, like a pit underneath, and he sleep there because he always wanted to stay below the whatever height that Lord Ram is. He wanted to stay stay a few feet below Ram, below the feet of Ram, so not in equal position. But that should be a mood while approaching the Guru as well. It's not that we sit in front of the Guru, cross our feet and sit leg over leg and sit like that. No, very humbly, straight back with focus, listen with attention. Don't unnecessarily interrupt the Guru, right? Let them finish talking, and if you have questions, then put your doubts, and in a very humble mood. So that's the position of Guru and disciple. And here, from here on, since Arjuna has surrendered to Krishna, and Krishna is now going to start instructing Arjuna on what happens from here. Okay, let's read verse 8. Who's 8? Premamayi Mataji? Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, are you
Hare-
addressing me?
Yes.
Okay. So because Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Text 8. Nahi prashyami mam apnudhayad yachokam uchchoshanam indriyanam vapaya bhumavasam sapatanam Ridham Rajyam Suranam Api Chadhipatayam. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is driving up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignties like the demigods in heaven. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. So Arjuna is clearly saying that, this doubt that is overcome me is drying up all my senses, right? And even if I get out of this war, even if I get a kingdom as good as that of the demigods in heaven, even then, I'm not going to get away from this grief, which means to say that our material distress that we are going to go through, the answer is not in material superiority. Right here, Arjuna himself is saying, even if I get a kingdom like that of heaven, I'll still not get relief from this system, from this grief that I'm going through. So in other words, he's explaining over here that in the purport, again, Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain the position of the guru, spiritual master over here. And he's saying further, you can read over here, it does not matter whether a person is a Vipra, a learned scholar in Vedic system, or is born in a lower family, or is in the renounced order of life. He's a master in the science of, if he is a master in the science of Krishna, is a perfect bona fide spiritual master. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? So, so the only qualification is that he should be knowledgeable in the science of Krishna. So whenever you surrender to a guru, this is the only qualification we need to look for, not which family he's born from, which caste, right? Which country, no. Okay, further he says, a scholarly Brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava. Right? Vaishnava is the one who understands the importance of Vishnu, right? Or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of lower caste can be a spiritual master if he's a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. This is from Padma Purana. So even Padma Purana is saying the same thing. It's saying that one should not look for which caste, which country, which skin color a guru comes from. As long as they are good Vaishnava, they can be a spiritual master, right? And the spiritual master is the one who can, the problems of material existence, which is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, the four miseries of material existence. So if all of this can further entangle us, but only a guru can disentangle us. When we surrender to a guru, all these material contaminations we are getting a relief from that. Okay. So in other words, in this verse, especially Arjuna is saying, there's all this grief that I'm going through, only if I'm not able to get an answer. So in this state, please explain, tell me what to do further. Okay, let's read verse 9.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
It's
Krishna.
my turn.
Yes.
Text 9. Sanjay Vacha. Eva Muktva Rishikesham Gudakesha Parantapaha Na Yotsa Na Yotsya iti Govinda Muktva Tushnem Babhuvaha. Translation. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Sanjay is narrating. Why is Sanjay narrating this to Dhritarashtra? Because when Dhritarashtra gets to know that this fellow Arjuna has given up his Gandiva, he's saying that I'm not going to fight. Even Srila Prabhupada mentions that he must have felt some kind of relief, some kind of happiness, saying, okay, now the victory is on our side. But but Sanjaya is very smartly, because he's a follower of, he's a bhakta of Krishna. He's very smartly referring to Arjuna as Gudakesha Parantapa. Gudakesha is a one who has won over ignorance or sleep, and Parantapa means a one who is a chastiser of enemy, right? Gudakesha, a master of curbing ignorance. Parantapa is chastiser of enemy. You can see the synonyms. So so he's reminding that because Arjuna has surrendered to Krishna, then in no time Krishna will dispel all these doubts from Arjuna, and he'll very quickly come back to the state of fighting again. So he's telling Dhritarashtra, don't rejoice so quickly, because very quickly Arjuna will come back to his original state, and he'll win over his enemies very quickly. So this is a reminder to Dhritarashtra not to rejoice too quickly. Let's read verse 10.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tama uvacha Rishikesha Rahasaniva Bharata Senyoru Bhayor Madhya Shidantam Idam Vachaha. Translation: O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna.
So descendant of Bharata, at this time, Krishna is smiling. Why is Krishna smiling then? Because looking at the state that is, Arjuna has given up his Gandiva at this point, and he's saying, I'm not going to fight. So why does Krishna is smiling then? Because Krishna is smiling knowing that Arjuna has finally surrendered to him as a disciple. Right? As long as we are surrendered to Krishna, there's some hope. Krishna will take control of our life, our senses, and bring us back on track. But that point of surrendering to Krishna is a very important point. And since Arjuna has come to this point of surrendering to Krishna, then Krishna is going to take control. So he's smiling, right? Because he sees hope for Arjuna, right? This point where Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna is very important. Right, it's a point where, you know, even before you understand what Krishna is going to say, you should at least be at the point of saying, okay, you are the Supreme Lord. When you come to that state, then whatever that person is saying, that will make sense, right? Without getting to the point of surrender, you'll not, whatever that other person is saying, it will only sound very pompous. Right, but to understand, to make sense of what this person is instructing you, then you should reach to a point of saying, yes, you're my superior, I surrender to you. So Arjuna has reached that state, and hence Krishna is smiling, and he's now going to instruct Arjuna. But before he instructs, he's going to also chastise Arjuna. That's from the next verses. But since these purposes are so going into depth into the spiritual master connection, before we go on to the next verse, let's a little more emphasize on the relation between a guru and a disciple. Right, because these few verses that we have read, it's very nicely showing how a surrendering soul should, surrender to a spiritual master. For example, there's this particular pastime of Ramanujacharya. He had a disciple called Kuresha, right? So Kuresha has been a personal disciple, personal servant of Ramanujacharya all the time. And so they had, over time, they had a very friendly, cordial relationship with each other. So at the deathbed of Kuresha, it said that Ramanujacharya came to his deathbed and said, I'm your guru, how dare you go back to Vaikuntha before me? You can't go before me. Right, so very in a humorous way, he chastised Kuresha. So Kuresha, in return, because they had a very friendly relation, he said, I have to go to Vaikuntha because so that before you come there, I set everything up. Like, usually when a guru goes to a place, his disciples will go clean up the place, set up the bed, whatever system is required for preaching. They'll set up the whole system, and then they will come back, ask the guru to come. So like that, he's saying, because I'm going to Vaikuntha, I'm going so that in future, whenever you come, everything is ready for you to start off in Vaikuntha. So in that way, they had a very humorous exchange where Ramanujacharya very, hugged Kuresha though their relation is that of a guru and a disciple. And it said that, so this kind of exchange can also happen between a guru and a disciple. But that initiation of that relationship of, having a physical contact with the guru should always be on from the guru side. And it's not should be something that a disciple should do. It's not that, because the guru is smiling, being friendly, you can suddenly approach the guru, startle them, surprise them. We can't have that kind of relation with the guru, right? Once we accept someone as a spiritual master, we should always be subordinate, right? To the point that, we are always alert to receive instructions, and we're not imposing on them. We are there if something at all the guru needs. They have given us specific instructions, specific service. We'll do those services and move out of the picture. Right? It's not that we constantly want to be in association of the guru. It's nice to be in association of the guru, but we should not be overpowering. We should not be that, if not me, nobody else should serve the guru. So everyone should get a equal chance. And also another thing is, when you're constantly in association of a guru, let's say, sometimes because of too much association, we might take things for granted. Like we observe certain behaviors. So far, we might have considered this guru is so much in awe. He's such a great personality. But too much association, will get to know their personal traits, right? So mentally, we might start thinking, okay, this thing, it's not that great. So mentally, we might start saying, thinking that the guru is not that great. The same thing can happen when you're going to dhams as well, right? Srila Prabhupada says, whenever you go to a dham, not more than 3 or 4 days. So beyond that, what happens? Initially, you're all in awe. You'll say that such a nice divine place. Everything is great. Krishna did this here, that there. So you'll think of all the pastimes. But after that, if you elongate your stay, what happens? You start thinking of the drainage there, the pigs here. This thing is not clean. That so mentally you'll start criticizing the dham. So with when familiarity comes contempt, as we say. So similarly, when you're associating with a guru, don't associate to the point where you start looking for faults in the guru. So that is our downfall. Once we start looking for faults in a guru, that's our spiritual downfall. So even if you're having a relation, do not overimpose to a point where the guru feels uncomfortable, or you're having too much physical contact. Even if a physical contact is done by a guru, especially a male sannyasi will always not have physical contact with a woman. But even otherwise, if they have contact with the Prabhujis, they initiate it. It should not be that the disciple is initiating a hug with the guru. Right? So such kind of distinction should be maintained while understanding the position of a guru. Here, Krishna is smiling, but does not mean that, we can, now that Arjuna is accepted Krishna as a guru, he can keep flipping. Now you're my friend, not my guru. Now you're my guru, not my friend. He can't do that. Now that he's accepted Krishna as a guru, he has to follow the etiquette of being a disciple to Krishna. Right? So this is how we understand these verses. I think we'll not read further today. We'll stop our discussion for now. So are there any questions on anything that was discussed today? Pavan Prabhuji?
Mataji, quick question there. I mean, just when you said the last bit, right, where, when we accept anybody as a guru, so we have to maintain the decorum that he is the guru and we are the Sishya. So when you said that, the example that Srila Prabhupada ji said that if you go to a dham, you'll actually tend to do that. And I'm able to relate that. Like when you go to any place, so we do that. Is it a typical human tendency that we do, or is it something that we have to control also?
You'll have to control, because a dham is an extension of the Lord itself. Right? Correct. We are looking at all the things that is on a material level may look not so clean, or not like the best of cities, but still there are some dhams that might look very nice and clean, right? And what happens in such dhams? Eventually people like drug addicts, people who like scenic things, people like that, they also come to such places. But to come to a dham that's looking unclean, like for example Vrindavan, Vrindavan is protected by Shiva himself. He's the protector of the Dham. So when it's also kind of covering put by Shiva at some level to say that if you don't have that kind of surrender to Krishna, which is Vrindavan itself, then you will not even come to Vrindavan, because you'll only be looking at the surface level of this is not, that is not right. Right. So in that case, it's best that you just stay for 2-3 days, come back. Okay. Before you get deeper. But once you go to the Dham, but if you start thinking like this, then it's going to, we are collecting a lot of akarma, material impious.
Negative.
Yes. So that we should be very careful about. So whatever the Dham is, Krishna has maintained it that way. If you can do something to clean the Dham, like I know that Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj, last year when we went to Ayodhya for a yatra, he makes sure that whatever group has traveled to the Dham, a day will be dedicated to clean the Dham.
Wow.
Right? Half a day, clean the rivers, Sarayu, the banks, the city, wherever they are travel, they'll spend half a day to clean the Dham. So that's a duty of the devotees as well. Right? It shouldn't be that, we go make the place even dirtier than it was before and then come out. So we'll have to do what we can, because it's Krishna's place. It's not that, if our altar is dirty, we'll not clean it, but we'll not sit and criticize it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right?
Thank you,
So
Mataji.
that should be the mood.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Okay, we'll end our class for today and we'll meet again on Wednesday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam
Dandavat
Mataji. Hare Krishna to all devotees
Hare
attending
Krishna
today.
Mataji,
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam. Hare Krishna to all.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so
Dandavat
much.
Pranam. Ending the call for everyone.